We hear the music. What's the mood like in there?
Yeah, man, that's a tough task to do. Obviously we've done it for a couple years in a row. So it's obviously our first goal to where we want to be as a team. So knocked that off the board, and I think the team's pretty excited about it.
Marquez, do you feel like this offense is getting to where you guys want it to be clicking?
Yeah, I mean, we're making steps in the right direction for sure. Obviously we want to score on every possession. That's just, our mindset. But being able to score 30-plus points, consecutive games is kind of our goal. But there's still more out there for us, and we're definitely not playing up to, our standard, for 4 quarters.
80% in the red zone's pretty good. It's what you did last year, 4 or 5 today, but that last one led to a little stress late. What did you feel coming off the field going up 14 there?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to, score a touchdown there. I think we were like the best offense in the history of football last year in the red zone. So that's our standard. So that's always our goal to score as many touchdowns as possible. You never want to, leave points out there. We didn't get, 7, but we got 3, and it was enough to win the game today.
Aaron Jones said that you were the spark that they needed tonight. Was there a point where you kind of realized, like, okay, they're triple teaming Devontae over there. This is going to have to be my night. I'm going to have to take
No, not really a point. I just kind of play one play at a time. That's kind of the focus. You never want to get too high, never want to get too low, and just make the plays when they come. And that's kind of just the mentality that I got to have, because once you start thinking otherwise, you try to start pressing and you don't make the play, or something goes wrong. So I just like to stay even keel throughout the whole time.
Devontae Adams has talked about how sometimes he has an inkling before a game that it's going to be his night, and once the game starts, he kind of feels that. When you get a couple big catches early, do you feel like that? Because obviously you've had some monster games that you've broken out of this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every night I feel like it's going to be my night. I think that you got to have that mindset as a receiver. I think Devontae is the same way. We want the ball every single play. If we can throw the ball 60 times and I get 60 targets, I want it. So that's kind of the mindset for it. And I don't really go into it thinking like, this is going to be my night, because I think every night's going to be my night. So,
Marquez, how do you balance the feeling of the accomplishment? You win another division championship, and yet there's a lot ahead of you guys that you're shooting for as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to celebrate this, this accomplishment, because that was our first goal, to win the North, and then reset and do all over again, because we got a good football team coming into Lambeau trying to knock us off. So we got to keep that rolling so we can have this whole thing run through Lambeau.
How do you feel about the long-range chances of this team this year?
I mean, good as it's always been. We have a really good football team. Our defense is playing really well, and we can just continue to find ways to win, and that's the most important thing is the win. So as long as we keep finding ways to win, that's all that matters.
What can you say about the defense on that last play coming in big? It feels like they've made so many clutch plays for you guys this season.
That's just the mindset of our whole team. It's just to make the play that counts. Obviously every play counts, but no play was more important than that 2-point conversion. And obviously they got a very aggressive team on the other side of the ball to go for it in that situation. But they had nothing to lose. So our defense went out there and made that big stop and sealed the game for us.
Marquez, his numbers aren't going to be as gaudy this year, but do you think Aaron Rodgers is playing at the same level he was last year, that same MVP type level?
Of course. I mean, he's had multiple games with multiple touchdowns and no picks. I don't really know too many guys that can do that consistently. He doesn't turn the ball over. He makes throw after throw. That you're just like, how did he get that ball in there? Like the one he threw to me in 2 minutes across the middle of the field. Just like, how did that ball get through there? But he's the best, and that's who he's going to be.
What's your mindset as you go? This week was crazy with COVID. I think as many positive tests in 1 week as like the whole season combined. When you see that happening around the league, what goes through your mind with this team in position with a lot in front of them?
Yeah, I mean, we do a really good job of, trying to keep our stuff in-house and not really going out and putting ourselves in situations to, be interacting with a bunch of people outside of our facility. Obviously, you can't control, what happens, because we obviously had a COVID case with Kenny. But, I think we've definitely been on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to, team outbreaks.
What do you think's behind that? Is it?
Thanks. She's next.
Sorry.
I did chime in that one. Did it mean anything to you to be on the receiving end of Aaron's touchdown that tied Favre's record? And did you know in the moment, because Aaron was kind of telling us about how he didn't know when he went to get the ball and then give it to...
Yeah, I knew it right away. And I was like, did we break the record or that tied it? That's what we were talking about. Like when everyone was around me, that's what we were talking about. Because like that's just a crazy accomplishment, and I definitely kept that football. That was not going anywhere. If it was broken, I would have gave it to him, but that was mine. And I think that's just a great accomplishment for him, and I just love that I'm a part of it.
With the COVID stuff, do you feel your team is doing something different by being more selfless, or do you feel like it's just kind of the luck of the draw and other teams are doing something?
I also think we're doing the right things, and also the location that we're in. We're in a pretty small town where we kind of just go to practice and go home, so we don't really have too many outside factors. Obviously if we're in Miami or something, it would be a lot higher. But we're in a small town where we kind of just go to work and go home.
Marquez, when you scored, I know you have like a friendly banter with Kenny. He tweeted that you are the malt that scored. Do you have a rebuttal to that?
Nah, I'll save it for a later time. I know he's dealing with some personal stuff with smelling bad all the time, so I don't really want to get too deep in that. I can smell him from here, so we'll leave it at that.
Did you have to argue Aaron to keep the ball since it was his record, or did he try to take
No,
it?
because it was a tie, so when you break it, that's a different conversation.